This is He Knows His Sport, bringing you that heat and that fire. Errol the True Spence going what? Bulldoze Shawn Constipated Porter part what? 97. I promise you guys 97 and 98. These are going to be some of the most emphatic versions of the installation of the series of Errol the True Spence is going to what? Bulldoze Shawn Constipated Porter. So hear me and hear me well. Let's get right into it. We're going to talk about Errol the True Spence, man. We're going to talk about the press conference. See, what people don't understand is that Errol the True Spence beat up Shawn Constipated Porter in what we call mental warfare. Let me say it again. Errol the True Spence beat up Shawn Constipated Porter in what we call mental warfare. The man whooped his ass up. That's called guerrilla warfare, folks. That's what folks don't understand. It's a mental battle. It's so ironic in part 96, He Knows His Sport said Shawn Constipated Porter is a backyard brawler, aka a street fighter, and Errol the True Spence called him a professional street fighter. Let me say that again. It's so interesting that Shawn Constipated Porter in part 96, He Knows His Sport called him a backyard brawler, aka a street fighter, and Errol the True Spence called him a professional street fighter. I'm just laughing because I'm like, it's either three-dimensional thinking ability and great minds think alike, right? Mentally sharp individuals always think alike. We're 1,000 miles apart from one another. Or it's the fact that maybe Errol the True Spence is watching He Knows His Sport videos. That could be a possibility too. I'm not saying that that is the case, but it's just so interesting. The other day that I said that Shawn Constipated Porter is a backyard brawler, aka a street fighter, and Errol the True Spence called him a professional street fighter. I'm just still wilding out with that one because I tell you, man, you know, he's the truth in the ring, and I'm the cold-hearted, unadulterated, cutthroat truth teller on YouTube. So we're in line with one another. I told you, he's the truth. There's no lies behind his fist. Then he also said that Shawn Constipated Porter fights like he's drowning. He can't swim. Let me say it again. He fights like he's drowning. He can't swim. See, this is what I was trying to tell you about a constipated individual. Just like Shawn Constipated Porter, what? Booty boy. Let me say it again. Shawn Constipated Porter, what? Booty boy. When you are a constipated individual in life, you are constipated in the ring. This is why I tell you it's mental guerrilla warfare. Because everything Errol the True Spence went above and over Shawn Constipated Porter's head. He didn't realize that he was being put at his truest and his most properest levels. He called the man a professional street fighter. He said the man is basically a football player that's fighting boxing, dog. A lot of the shit that He Knows His Sport said before the past. That's why I'm laughing, because it's good to see Errol the True Spence get this dude completely out of character. In so much so, he was so out of character that he became the loudest man in the room. I told you guys, the loudest person in the room is usually the most insecure. Let me say it again. The loudest person in the room is usually the most insecure. Shawn Constipated Porter, in order for him to basically kind of counter what Errol the True Spence said, remember, kind of counter, or supposedly think he's countering, he tried to be the loudest person in the room. It's just like when He Knows His Sport has debates against cats. They try to be the loudest person in the room, or they try to go out of context, and then He Knows His Sport have to reel their ass right back into context. Let me say it again. These motherfuckers go out of context, and then He Knows His Sport have to reel their ass back into context. Because what people don't understand is I'm a master debater. And in debates, it's not about who knows more. It's about who can poke at whose holes more. Let me say it again. It's not about who knows more in debates. It's about who can poke at whose holes more. That's how debates are won. This is why I don't understand with people. You can know everything. You could be a historian. You can know the whole fucking sport. But if the context of what you're talking about has nothing to do in relation to what you're talking about, you look like a classic dope and a troglodyte, a freaking dodo head, a ultra fanboy with the ultra fanboy rhetoric. And this is what I do. I expose people at their truest and their most properest levels. Just like Errol the True Spence is exposing Shawn Constipated Porter in the freaking ring. Dude, you heard Mark Breland, man. This is Deontay Wilder's, one of his trainers, right? Under J. Diaz. What'd he say? He said Shawn Constipated Porter gonna come in here like this. And then, boom, the jab gonna be landing. And then guess what? We're gonna have to reset again. And then, boom, the jab coming again. And then we're gonna have to reset again. And then, boom, the jab is coming again. Come on, man. How many people are lining up where He Knows His Sport, dog? Boxing is a pugilistic sport, folks. It's what we call a sweet science. They call that a sweet science for a reason, because it's the art of hitting and not getting hit. Let me say it again. It's the art of hitting and not getting hit. Shawn Constipated Porter style is rough and is rugged, man. He's a backyard brawler. He's set up to get bulldozed by Errol the Truth Spence, man. You heard Derrick James, man. What did Derrick James say? He said, when you sit there and you look at the fights between Shawn Constipated Porter and Keith Thurman, Shawn Constipated Porter and Danny Garcia, this is what makes me laugh. This is what I'm saying. Even the aka biased and unbiased ants movement don't get it. They're classic dotes and they're troglodytes. They're Rudy Poo and Plum brains. They're ultra fanboys with the ultra fanboy rhetoric. Because how can you not get it that these guys are second tier welterweights? They're very flawed individuals. Oh, Danny Garcia got more power than Errol the Truth Spence. But if you're not using your power effectively and you're not bringing up your punch volume, because that's how you're going to beat Shawn Constipated Porter, and you're just doing right hand, left hook, right hand, left hook, right hand, left hook, and not letting your hands go, and you're just being basically a still counterer waiting for the action to be pressed at you, you're tailor-made for Shawn Constipated Porter. That's why they call him Danny Cherry Picking Garcia. So don't ever compare that whatever cherry to Errol the Truth Spence, who is the tactical aggression, technical punching placement, and body snatching work, the levying onslaught of the punishment style, folks. There's no comparison between those two. Then you have Keith Thurman, duck time, aka runtime Thurman. Do you understand why both of them want this fight to be close? Because they had a close fight with Shawn Constipated Porter. What I say was so deep and profound. Let me rewind that so it marinates in the corpus callosum and in the cerebellum. Do you understand why they want Errol the Truth Spence to have a close fight with Shawn Constipated Porter? Because they had a close fight with Shawn Constipated Porter. And it will look bad when Errol the Truth Spence bulldozed them. Then everybody's going to realize what I've been saying from the jump. That Errol the Truth Spence is a first tier welterweight. And these classic dotes and these troglodytes. And what I told you, fighters, ex-fighters, trainers, and ex-trainers alike can be ultra fanboys with the ultra fanboy rhetoric. Or what we call second tier welterweights, very flawed fighters. This is why they had a close fight with one another. And then Errol the Truth Spence clown Shawn Constipated Porter was like, please, I've never been in the ring with somebody like you, battle tested like you. Your last 3 fights were close decisions. I keeps the foot on the what? On the next. I keeps the foot on the what? On the next. No. Let me say that. Errol the Truth Spence keeps the foot on the what? On the next. Errol the Truth Spence keeps the foot on the what? On the next. And we both are Tibetan Mastiff, dog. We applying what? Unlimited pressure, because pressure does what? It busts his fucking pipes, folks. Come on, man. The man clowned him. You don't understand how much he mentally whooped Shawn Constipated Porter. It's so much so that Shawn Constipated Porter had to start complimenting Errol the Truth Spence. But Errol the Truth Spence told him, you got to keep that same energy, dog. You and your dad been running your mouth too fucking much in the ring. Let me say it again. You better keep that same energy. You and your dad been running your mouth too much in the fucking ring. And it's time to bulldoze your asses, man. Listen, man. You know what Errol the Truth Spence is lining himself up for. I told you, I gave you guys the game plan many months ago. This is why I told you I'm Hino's sport. I'm bringing you that what? That heat and that fire, dog. And I keeps the foot on the what? On the next. And I'm giving you the Sun Tzu, aka Art of War, 48 Laws of Power, dog. You know what I'm saying? 3-dimensional thinking ability, dog. I'm giving it to you all. And what have I told you guys? Many months ago, the welterweight, it was in a Royal Rumble. They're like in a Royal Rumble tournament. And after the Shawn Constipated Porter fight, Errol the Truth Spence was looking for Manny Pacquiao, the money fight. And then after that, he's going to be looking to fight Bud Light. Let me say it again. He's looking for Shawn Constipated Porter to bulldoze his ass. Then the Manny Pacquiao fight so he can AARP his ass. And then Bud Light so he can show that Terrence Bud Crawford is too light on his ass and he will get straight up stopped. And like he told Roy Jones Jr., I'm going to wash your boy. But before we get there, man, September 28th is live, action, and packed. Shawn Constipated Porter doesn't understand. This is why I say, when you are a constipated individual, shit goes over your head. Let me say it again. When you are a constipated individual, shit goes over your head. There's so many things that Errol the Truth Spence said that was leagues and shoulders above the mindset of Shawn Constipated Porter. This is why I always say, I understand now why his dad talked for him. But we're going to get on to his dad in the next video, because Derrick James got his ass in shape. Because you know why he got his ass in shape? Because I'm getting the feeling that this might be Floyd Mayweather and Zab Judah written all over again. Let me say it again. This might be Floyd Mayweather and Zab Judah written all over again. While Errol the Truth Spence beating the shit out of Shawn Constipated Porter, just like Floyd Mayweather was beating the shit out of Zab Judah, there's going to be some dirty, nasty tactic shit that's going to happen. Let me say it again. There's going to be some dirty, nasty tactic shit that's going to happen. And then you got these classic dolts and these troglodytes, these ultra fanboys with the ultra fanboy rhetoric, the anti, aka biased and unbiased ants movement, right? They're getting on Max Kellerman. Listen, I'm not the biggest Max Kellerman fan, but Max Kellerman does know the sport of boxing. You don't need to be in the square circle to know the sport. If that's the case, it disqualifies 75 to 80% of people that talk about the sport of boxing. You do realize it disqualifies you too, right? You Rudy Poor, you Pub brain. You do realize that, right? Let me say that again. If you're saying that Max Kellerman is disqualified to talk about boxing, that means it disqualifies you, you Rudy Poor, you Plum brain. 75 to 80% of people that talk boxing have never been in the square circle. But we say they know boxing, right? Because we could see what they talk about through the test of time shows us that they do. That's why I tell people, these motherfuckers are biased and filled with lies. They're the worst version of it. They sitting here getting on the LDBC and getting on everybody else, but then they're worse than them. You know what I'm saying? Because the LDBC is not bad. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing that trips me out. Everybody want to get on the LDBC, not understanding what the LDBC is about. These guys are about something, man, bigger than boxing. And if you do the research, you'll see that. I'm not LDBC, but I respect them. I'm going to say it again. I'm not LDBC, but I respect them because I'm a nomadic dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm an individual, and I'm going to respect all boxing communities because at the end of the day, just like Fight Hype said when I was just on this live stream, you got to respect all of the channels because they bring something to the table from a boxing standpoint. See, instead of people coming together and talk boxing, people want to get on people's shit. When really it's about the sweet science. I thought that's what it was about. They didn't want to get on other people because they have a different perspective. Hello, you dodo heads. We all are different individuals, so we're going to think differently. Let me say it again. We all are different individuals, so we're going to think differently. So what's the beef with the LDBC? I don't understand it. Because they're too cold-hearted, they're too unadulterated, and they're too cutthroat with their truths. I fucks with them because they agree with over 90% of what I agree with, as he knows the sport. So salute to them, man. I respect them. Some of the cats that I rock with from the LDBC, Barbershop Conversation, Ticket TV, these are some decent brothers, man. They know their shit. They're three-dimensional thinkers, man. I respect them for their hustle. I respect them for what they do. They're not sitting here and just talking boxing. They're actually going out there doing charity work and doing other stuff. And this is the stuff that's tripping me out. You motherfuckers are sitting behind the back of your couch titty typing or sitting behind the back of your couch and doing all kinds of fuckery and bullshit and hating. When you could be out there being men and women of purpose and an abundance mindset. This is what trips me out. You know, it's funny. Because folks like you make me look like I'm bad and I'm not. Because you guys just, you know what I'm saying, pop your joints, you know what I'm saying, look up unprofessional as hell, and then just fucking running your mouths. When there's a level of professionalism with this shit. Yeah, I have to rant a little bit. I'm ranting. Errol the Truth Spence is going to bulldoze Shawn Constipated Porter, man. And when you have people that's telling you the truth, like a Max Kellerman that said, hey, there's a potential that Shawn Constipated Porter is going to throw headbutts, elbows, and low blows. How is he now all of a sudden on Errol the Truth Spence team for saying that? There's more and more people coming out saying that Shawn Constipated Porter is a dirty ass fighter. Do you guys realize that? There's a reason for that, folks. Because people can see through the Andre Berto fight, the Devin Alexander fight, the Danny Garcia fight, the Eunice Ugas fight, the Adrian Granados fight, the Paulie Malignaggi fight. There's so many fights that gives us intel that this dude is a dirty and a nasty brawler. So what the hell are you guys talking about? So Errol the Truth Spence is just stating the obvious. I'm loving it, man. Because come September 28, all of these cockroaches are going to go on AWOL and witness protection. Let me say it again. All of these cockroaches are going to go on AWOL and witness protection status, man. Because Errol the Truth Spence, when he bulldozes Shawn Constipated Porter, you're going to see what their La Cucaracha excuse is going to be. Because like cockroaches, they fucking scatter. Let me say it again. Like cockroaches, they fucking scatter. But you know, he knows the sport. I'll be right there post-fight, ready to keep the foot on the what? On the necks. I'll be ready to keep the foot on the what? On the necks. And apply what? Unlimited pressure. Because pressure does what? It busts fucking pipes, folks. This is He Knows the Sport. Checking out.